Well, so I'm live now. This is my first time streaming with my microphone on, so hopefully I don't get too nervous. I really want to stream more while I'm working on my comic. I keep thinking about it and then I'm like, I don't want to. I'm nervous. But yeah, I kind of feel like streaming the process of this page, and I'm also recording this, so this will probably be up on my YouTube soon if you're not catching this live. But yeah, so I'm working on a page of my comic heroic shenanigans. So these are spoilers, I guess. This is quite a bit ahead. If you're on my Patreon, you've seen this page. Hopefully you can see my cursor there. Chapter 7, page 33. I'm working on page 34. I'm working quite a bit ahead. I post the comic in a couple different places. I know Webtoons, I've posted, the updates are farther along because I want to post bigger updates there, although I haven't posted there in a couple of weeks, so if you read on Webtoons, I'm sorry. I want to post more often, but it just takes a long time to get enough pages done for me to feel like it's a sizable update. So I was going to post once I got this page on the left done, but there's actually just a couple more pages in this scene, so I figured I'll just take a little longer and post a longer and like more coherent update, and then there will be one more Webtoons update, and then this chapter will be done. So yeah, but I'm kind of gonna just work on this. Is that showing up on Twitch? There's like my there's like something weird, like I can see my Photoshop window looks really weird. Okay, that fixed it. I don't know if you could see that, but it looked weird to me, but now it's fixed. Okay, I'm just going to, so this page is all over the place. Like I've got these panels down here just sketched. This top one's like basically done. I just need to finish the shading. I'm very inconsistent with how I work. I'll like jump around and get bored with working on one part and then jump to another. But I'll kind of warm myself up by just working on the shading for this top panel. I'll just get on the walls. That color. So for shading, I always just use a multiply layer and then put, I've got like a purpley kind of color for this. Hopefully my keys aren't super loud. It seemed to be coming up really loud on Twitch when I was typing. So hopefully... okay. Egg. Whenever I'm shading, I kind of just sort of wing it. Just kind of feel it out, feel what feels right, and then especially for backgrounds, like I just use kind of a big soft, I guess this isn't a soft brush, but no, it's not good. Yeah, I kind of just, my style is pretty cartoony. I don't worry too much about the shading being like realistic. It kind of just whatever looks good, you know, as long as it like nothing looks super off. It can be believable without being realistic. Okay. Let's go down there. Alright, I think it's probably good for the I'm trying to find myself on Twitch on my phone so I can check the chat there in case anyone chats, then I don't have to switch over. But I should mute that. How do I mute it? I'm trying to find myself. No, I'm hearing my own voice. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. That's too weird. I'll just have to check if anyone chats. Now, this is probably not the most interesting start. Just shading this room. But yeah, once I'm done with this, I can work on drawing the characters in the other panels. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but these guys keep ending up in rooms with like a bunch of boxes and stuff. And I get tired of drawing it because they were, for like the first half of this chapter, they were in one room, like a bunch of boxes. And yeah, I probably could make it look more interesting. Because they're supposed, like this room and the other room that they were in are basically just storage rooms. Which isn't really, I guess, the most interesting place to be, but I probably could, like, try to vary more the things that are in the room rather than just, here's a bunch of cardboard boxes. But I also don't, I mean, I want to make it clear, like, what the setting is, where they are, but the emphasis is always on the characters. I don't want, you know, I don't need a super detailed background to distract from, like, the characters and what they're talking about and their emotions, because ultimately that's what the story's about. Not just a bunch of cardboard boxes that kind of just, you know, I kind of just draw enough to sort of suggest where they are, but without drawing all the details, because I just don't need to spend all that time. I could be getting further in the story. Okay, see, I'm just constantly going back and forth, like, shading, erasing it, shading it, I don't know. Yeah, that's like another reason where I'm always reluctant to stream, because I get self-conscious, like, oh, it's okay showing the finished product, but when I show my process going through, like, all the mishaps that happen and all the things I try that don't really work, it's like, it can be scary showing that, rather than showing your completed thing that you want people to see. But I think it's interesting to see people's processes. So I know I can learn a lot from watching another artist stream and watching just how they work, and can pick up different techniques and see things that you like never would have thought to do. So that's kind of why I want to start streaming more, just sort of get more personal and show, you know, what it is that I'm doing. Oh no. This is supposed to be like, this is like a glass case, but it's really dusty. So I think, I don't know how much of her shadow should be on it. That's probably fine, because now the shading is kind of looking like the same color as when the dust is wiped off. Which, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, that should probably be, that should be lighter, I think. Rather than darker. The dust should be making it darker. Oops. Whoa. Wow. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. Okay. Like that. Oh, this color just to save it. Let's see what that looks like. Does that look more like she's wiping dust off? Maybe the dust wouldn't make it darker because it's not like there's light coming from inside the case. I don't know. This goes back to what I just said about it being doesn't have to be realistic, it just has to look convincing. I might come back to that, think about it. I can do the shading on Emily here. I'll like kind of block in the shading with a hard brush on the characters first, and then I'll go in with a soft brush and kind of give it a more, like, what's the word I'm looking for, like kind of blended, I guess. Not really blended, but like, I don't know, just give it a little bit of a softer look. Okay, so then that panel, unless I decide to change up that case some more, that panel can be done, which doesn't make any sense because these bottom panels are just in the sketch phase, but you know what, I don't work totally linearly, I guess. I jump around, as I said, so yeah, okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so now this panel here, Henry is going to be looking at this glass case, and that's going to be his reflection seen in it. So I'm going to go back, there's a previous page where I had a reflection. I'm going to just look at what I did with that. Which page was that? I might show you guys some spoilers. No, it's probably not that. No, okay, it's after that. Spoilers if you're not on Patreon or not reading on webtoons. But I appreciate you watching this, so I'm okay showing you spoilers. Or like, I don't know if it's spoilers. I mean, maybe. Okay, so here's a reflection. So what did I do? Okay. So is that those hands? Nope. Oh yeah, it was that. Okay. So where? Oh, this is probably part of the background. Reflection, there we go. So that, okay, so I just made a separate group and then gave it 40% opacity. Okay. So I'm just going to, close all these. So I'm just going to draw, actually, no, never mind, I don't have that file. Do I have any, oh yeah, there's one with Henry's face straight on. It's that page 7. Okay. I can kind of, sometimes at this point, I can pretty much draw my characters from memory, but sometimes, especially if it's like straight on, like his face straight on, which I don't always do. I usually have their faces like turned a little to the side. I might, yeah, copy that over to use as a reference just to make his face look more consistent, because I think it's probably not wide enough. Actually, this is a little too off. That might actually be okay, because he's kind of looking up at it. Maybe his eyes, like, the proportions look... Okay, where are my layers? Okay, and then that's that, okay. I think, and then where's my layer of... No, I have no idea. Where did that? It's probably that one. Yeah, okay. That, his hair kind of... Maybe it's his hair that's making it look weird. Maybe I'll just adjust his hair a little bit. Oh yeah, his ears. Actually, I guess that's his hair. His ears. Making the character's ears level with each other for some reason is hard. Maybe that's just me. I'm super far. Just a little bit. Not sticking up so much, although I guess it would be sticking up in the middle if you're looking at his face straight on, but that's kind of a cartoony thing, that like character's hair doesn't always have to be facing the same direction. If it looks good, it's like Henry's hair will face whatever direction he's facing, kind of. I don't think that really made sense, but yeah, okay. I think, does that look better? Yeah, that already looks more on model. It was looking kind of funky. But I think that I'm not too concerned about my characters being like on model, like exactly, you know, everything exactly lines up as if they were being animated frame by frame. Just as long as they don't look too wonky and look like themselves, because I'd rather spend my time, you know, making more pages and getting further in the story than like making everything look absolutely perfect if it doesn't need to be. As long as it, you know, looks good and gets the point across, nobody's gonna notice if things aren't like absolutely precise, as long as nothing's too off. Okay, so I think that looks... His other ear still looks too hot. Whoops. His ear... I mean, I guess they're lined up, but maybe the bottom's not lined up. Yeah, that's it. That's fine. Okay. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. So we'll make this its own group. Okay. ink in this guy. I hope the background noises aren't too loud, but my laptop's on like a little lap desk thing. It's kind of sliding around, and hopefully that wasn't super loud. Oh, gonna want to load. There we go. Just flip the canvas. Yeah, see, he looks a little... See, yeah, his ears look off again. I don't... Yeah, they are off. Pop. His eyes are definitely not. Yeah, it's so interesting how... Oops. How different things can look when you flip the canvas and then you realize... Like, that's a good trick. I didn't do that for the longest time, and then when I finally started doing it, it helps so much to make your art just look that much better. Oops. You don't realize how, like, at least for me, like, I'll draw things kind of slanted to one side, and then I don't realize it until I flip the canvas, how, like, one of his eyes was higher than the other, and, like, it looked fine until I mirrored it, but now when I mirror it back, like, it's gonna look so much better. So this ear needs down lower. But, again, if it's not perfect, like, if this was the one thing I was ever gonna draw, I would spend way more time on it and make it look perfect, but since I'm going to be drawing this character a bazillion more times in my life, I don't need to, I say as I'm like undoing and redoing this one little part, but I don't need it to be like exactly 100% absolutely perfect, because life's too short for that, and comics take a long time to draw. Yeah, his nose is a little bit off-centered too. Oh, why do I keep doing that? Layers, that's a thing. Yeah, see, even his shoulders are not at the same height. It's so weird how you don't notice that until I flip it. Computer's hot. Oh, I'm drawing on a sketch layer. It's because I'm live making mistakes. I don't normally make mistakes, just kidding. I can't even remember the last time I accidentally drew on a sketch layer. I feel like I definitely will shade on the color layer, but since I use multiply for the shading layer, I'll notice right away because it will look different. Be like, oh, I just colored purple on Henry's skin. It's not supposed to look purple. Okay, I had to double check I am on the lines layer, right? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna flip this back and see. Maybe I should close the other. Oh, why is it? Oh, that one's good for that. I don't need that anymore. Okay. Yeah, now his eyes look like weird. Yeah. I bet recording and streaming is making my computer go slower too. Yeah, he still looks kind of lopsided. But I guess as long as it looks okay when it's flipped the right way. Like, if that looks okay. Yes, I just closed that other page, but I can always see what his ears look like. Yeah, I mean, those aren't super symmetrical either. It's fine. And especially, like, once it's colored, you notice the lines a lot less. Because there's just the color and the shading adds more detail. And you're not just solely focused on the lines. At least that's what I would figure happens. I hope my... got this bracelet that's like hitting the little lap desk. I remember I was recording like a voiceover or something for a video a while ago, and I had like my bracelet kept like my arm kept hitting the table thing, and my bracelet kept hitting it, and I didn't register it while it was happening, but then when I went back, played the video, like it was really loud, the metal bracelet hitting the table. I was like, oh gosh, and like it was really like I pretty much had to try to cut it out from the whole video and try to not cut out any of my talking. So don't be surprised if I watch this back and there's like a bunch of random loud noises that are super distracting. But I don't notice that. This is my first time doing this live, so don't be too harsh on me. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. nose look like on this one? Oh, I need to drink more water. Probably hear that too. My water bottle. Hydration is important, kids. Okay, so but in that same page I drew him in the front. A couple, yeah, it was I think, okay, yeah, these pages are even posted. I'm so far ahead that I forget, like, what pages haven't gone up. So I'll, like, I'll, like, forget that it's Wednesday, and I'll see my scheduled tweet, getting, like, retweeted. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Wednesday, my comic updated. And then I'll get, like, a email or, like, a comment on the website, and I'll read, and I'll be like, I don't even know what page they're referring to, because I don't know what page went up today. Because, like, but I would prefer that than to, like, scrambling to get a page up every week, because I've been there and it's stressful. I would really love to get ahead and be able to just kind of not relax, because I'd probably be working on something else too, but just have a backlog of page. Okay, nose. That's a weird nose. I don't like it. But yeah, I've been thinking once I'm done with this chapter, I'll probably take a break from posting it. Although I think this every chapter, I'm like, I'm not gonna start posting the next chapter until it's, like, all done. But then I always, then I always end up posting. And I was gonna, although I do have a pretty good, buffer right now, which is good, but I was gonna wait even longer. Like, I had a date in mind of when I was gonna start posting this chapter, and then I ended up posting it a couple weeks early, because I was like, everybody's quarantined and wants more stuff to read, so I'll just go ahead and give my readers this a little early. You know, which I was happy to do. That kind of sounded like I was annoyed, but I don't know. But yeah, I might, because this is chapter 7. Chapter 9 will be the end of volume 2, and then I will do another Kickstarter to print more books, and I can't wait to do that. But yeah, so definitely, like, I might take a break and, like, really plan out chapters 8 and 9 before I start posting them, because then what I would like to do is still be, like, have the pages done and still be posting them while the Kickstarter is running, because the last Kickstarter I did, which was my first Kickstarter, I had I just got distracted because I can't talk and draw this nose at the same time, apparently. But yeah, but the first Kickstarter, like, all the pages that were in the book were already published online, so I wasn't doing any comic updates while the Kickstarter was going. So I would assume that if the comic is still updating weekly, then I can be advertising the Kickstarter with each update, so hopefully more people would see it, or, like, people would get reminded rather than just seeing my one update that I post to the comic, hey, there's a Kickstarter, and they think, oh cool, I'll check it out, and then they forget. But then if they see it every time the comic updates, you know, because sometimes you have to see something advertised a couple times before you want to buy it. So it would be nice if, if I could be promoting it while the comic's still updating, so I can be like, hey, you can buy it, and even depending how far ahead I get, it could even be the case that people would get the book before all the pages are even online. So, like, if you buy the book, then you could read to the end of that chapter earlier, which could definitely be an incentive to buy the book. But we'll see how it works out. That's just kind of my wishful thinking, I guess. But yeah, and I do have another project that I'm working on. I'll definitely talk more about that when I can. But yeah, so that might take some priority while when chapter 7 is done. I may switch over and work on that until that's done, and then get back into Rogue Shenanigans. But yeah, I'll definitely talk more about the other project. I'm working on it with someone else, so I don't know how public it is yet, but we'll definitely be talking about it when the time comes, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I think one eye looks bigger than the other, but you know what? Taking too much time on this. It's kind of hard to talk and draw at the same time. But I want to keep it interesting. Okay. See that. That looks good. Let's just turn that off for a second. And then so there is the super suit inside the case. I might want to go back, look through some concept art and see if I can find a good design for that. I might not. Alright, let's start sketching this bottom panel. So, background's pretty much the same as the background in the top panel. With the background sketch. So, I think all the pieces are there. That box is not covering the door. So that box, I think that's that box smaller. Now the door's farther over. That's what it is. Probably could have just copy pasted that background, but the door's probably like there. And then there's kind of a lot of dialogue in this. No, I guess that doesn't really cover anything. Dialogue. So on the sketch layer. Okay. It's stickers. Lag. Ah! I hate when it does that. It like lags and then it makes it just draw a straight line. I don't know why. Photoshop takes up a lot of memory and my computer's pretty full. I don't know how much that affects it, but I'll definitely like, if I've been working on a lot of things, I have like multiple Photoshop files open, I'll like try to draw a line and it'll just get an error because the memory's full, like it can't even draw a line. So that's probably something that I should not let that keep happening. But maybe, so she wiped that off, and then it can maybe be implied that they wiped more of the dust off so they can see more of the suit underneath. Okay. I have too many sketch layers. Okay, so there's Emily standing there. I need to give her some arms and legs. Sounds like someone's making popcorn. Can you hear it? Stove popcorn, the good kind. Okay. Portions. She needs the neck. I think. I guess she's standing farther back because if Henry's feet are there, then Kieran's feet are somewhere. Because in the next, you guys want some more spoilers? I can open up the next page. Because then in the next panel, Emily's gone. She's already moved to the other side of the room, so she could be kind of like backing away. Too many people around. I feel you, Emily. I don't want to draw all these people either. Okay, so she's probably just got. I don't know if it's just me, but like when I'm showing characters like just standing around, I don't know what to have them do with their arms. Like maybe that's because I never know what to do with my hands when I'm just standing around. But like I don't know. No. Time to do the old switcheroo. See it from mirrored. Oh, I know, computer streaming and photoshopping is just too much for you. I'm sorry. I probably should move more of my files to my external hard drive and free up some space. I don't know if that would help. Photoshop's just really takes up a lot of memory, but you'd think that a laptop that comes with a tablet screen would be able to handle that, but maybe not. Because it's not specifically for art. The pen is definitely not. The pen that came with my computer is really, I mean, if you have seen like the little stylus that goes with like Samsung phones, I think it's the exact same one. It's a Samsung laptop and the stylus is just like so dinky. And I've been using it for 2 years now and I've gotten used to it, but I've been looking into buying a stylus, a better one that's like thicker and has an eraser. Because on my old Wacom tablet that I used to use, I'm just drawing the same line over and over. See, I can't talk and draw. So the tablet that I used to use, it had like the other end of the pen was an eraser, so I could just flip the pen around and erase rather than having to, you know, like toggle between the E and the B keys, which is very quick. But if I wanted to flip my laptop screen around so that the keyboard was underneath, I don't do that very often because I need the keys so much, but if I had, like, some buttons that I could map to, like, Control-Z or something, and then I had an eraser, I could probably at least do a lot of sketching with my computer just flipped around. Although I've gotten pretty used to drawing on the screen. It's like not totally vertical, but more vertical than flat, and with the keyboard in front of me. So I definitely, having this computer is definitely an improvement, I feel like, over having a tablet without a screen. But yeah, I really want to get a pen. It's very hard to figure out what pens are compatible with what computers. So I've got a couple I'm looking at. I think I just have to buy one, and then if it doesn't work, just return it. Yes. Okay. Doesn't even look right. I was totally, like, just focusing on what I was saying and not focusing on this drawing, because tablet pens have been taking up a lot of my thoughts the last couple of days. I've been really looking into them, watching YouTube videos, learning about the different types of touchscreen technology to try to figure out, like, what pens will work with my specific laptop, because they don't, you'd think they would say, like, this laptop. And there's, like, Samsung pens that say, oh, they work with the Samsung Galaxy and the Samsung tablet. And I'm like, what about the Samsung laptop that you guys made? Like, does your pen not work with that? I would hope so. But we'll see. Maybe next stream or video or whatever, I'll tell you all about my new pen. Or I'll cry about my pen that I bought that didn't work. But, I mean, I should be able to return stuff, so. But, yeah. Technology is just too complicated sometimes. But it's also great because I love working digitally. I gradually, like, this comic started out completely traditional and then went to traditionally inking on paper and coloring in Photoshop, and then I went to just sketching on paper, scanning it into Photoshop and inking it, and then when I got this computer, I just started sketching in Photoshop, and it's very nice to be able to, like, undo stuff and move stuff around. Doesn't look right. I've been going for like over half an hour now. So I'll probably end this soon. Yeah, I don't want to go for too super long, but I'll probably do this again. I'd like to make this a regular thing, like have a certain day of the week that I stream. Just try to get more content out there. But I like, you know, kind of watching artist streams and like hearing them talk about their process and just what's going on. It makes them more like personal. I don't know what I'm looking for. It just kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely artists where like I'd seen their work before. I'm like, okay. But then when I've like seen them on streams, then I'm like, oh, I'm like interested in you as a person now. And so I'm more interested now in what you make. It's not just like, you know, this art that just appears out of nowhere. Like, I can kind of see the person behind that, so it kind of, you know, like to be more like that, I guess. I don't know if I'm making any sense. And what her hair actually have done probably would be for this time. Yeah, that would be like, yeah, that's what thinking. I don't know. Kieran looks kind of slanted, but maybe she's sort of leaning. Yeah, I think that's doable. Maybe Henry would be standing back a little bit more. Yeah, probably that. Although I guess if he was looking at his reflection in the previous panel, but that, I mean, that's probably good. Don't want him to be overlapping the edge of the box too much. Don't get too much of a tangent there. Maybe. Actually, move the background over, maybe. Where's it lined up with that box? Need more water. Talking. Too much talking. Okay. Alright, alright, well I think that will do it for now. I will, end this off. Thanks for watching. If you're watching live, and if you're watching on YouTube later, thanks for doing that as well. I, hope to do this again. And, I'll, definitely on YouTube, I'll put in the description where you can find my comic. If you're watching right now, it's, heroicshenanigans.com, and you can also search Heroic Shenanigans on Tapas and Webtoon. It's there as well. Alright, well, thanks. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.